Now, since we've been having this discussion about with Mike Tyson and Mr. Jake Paul, Jamari, shout outs to you. This was awful. And I posted up 5 hours ago. Oh no. I think it is that he's gonna have a field day with it. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get into this video.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Obviously, this is not my normal setup. I am on the road, but I did have some time today, so I want to talk about the fight last night between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Unfortunately, Mike Tyson did lose by decision, but I am glad there were no knockouts, at least on Jake's part. Overall, the fight was very disappointing on several fronts, so let's talk about it. And before I even start, let me just preface this by saying the only influencer boxing match worse than this one was probably the Dylan Dennis versus Logan Paul special.
I heard this. I didn't watch this. But I mean, Logan Paul also gets on my nerves. Logan Paul has a sense of arrogance that is just, it's annoying. It's like, gang, stop. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Where Dylan just refused to throw a punch, he made the whole thing kind of a joke. And in the meantime, Logan Paul could literally not knock out an immobile target who was not moving. I mean, the guy was just standing there taking blow after blow, pause, and Logan just could not get the job done. Now let's talk about a couple of things that happened before the fight. At the final weigh-in, Mike does come out, junk out and all, and he ends up actually slapping up Jake Paul after he stepped on his foot. A lot of people thought this was a purposeful tactic by Jake. Some people were saying it was set up. Some people found it strange that Jake kind of crawls up on all fours like a gorilla.
This is why I had a problem with that. I had a problem with this. And like I said, I grew up on boxing. I'm going to continue to keep saying this because my dad was a boxer for a period of time. I learned a thing or two from him. Mike, during these conferences and stuff like that, go back to an older video of the stuff that Mike used to say to the other fighter, or to the people that was around him. Like, I'll eat you for dinner. I'll fuck you in your ass. You know, do we have to go through all of that stuff that he used to say? Okay, and then Jake trying to go ahead and impersonate is like being a gorilla. That comes off as being racist. It comes off as just like, all right, what you doing? At this point, Mike don't got time to be dealing with stuff like that. Like, come on. That's why he got slapped. That's why it's just like, all right, the arrogance level between the Paul brothers. That's why I can't stand both of them. I can't stand both of them. I think with Logan Paul is worse than with Jake, but golly, bro.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Mike looks pretty genuinely pissed right there. This is what Jake would say after getting slapped.
I didn't even feel it. He's angry. He's an angry little elf. Mike Tyson, I thought that was a cute slap, buddy, but tomorrow you're getting knocked the fuck out. I'm f***ing him up, Auriel. I'm f***ing him up. He hits like a It's personal now. It's personal now. He must die.
Well, he didn't die.
Listen, guys, I don't know if it's the fact that Jake Paul is the first influencer to develop CTE, or if that's just the steroids raging through his body. But Mike Tyson would indeed not die in that ring. Here's what Jake's mom would say after she saw her little boy get slapped.
I'm gonna kill Mike Tyson for you.
Like, woman, please. That's Mike. I need you, Mike Tyson. No. I may add it is that Mike, those punches just wasn't for men, dang it. And I'm not advocating anything of violence or anything like that. But you need to look at that man's record. I'm not going toe to toe with a man like that. At all. Not at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get it. She was trying to, to comfort her son. In all fairness, yes, but ma'am, I'm gonna need you to be like, hey, listen, just have a, just have a seat. Just have a seat. Just have a seat. That's not somebody that you want. That's not somebody that you want to say that to.
Fuck a little bitch.
You slap harder than him.
He's like, remember all those times you abused me, Mom? Then Jake started talking really crazy before the fight, saying, I believe I could beat Mike Tyson during any phase of any part of his career.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. Mike, like I said, Mike's record is 50-7 now. It was 6 before this match. It's to 7 due to this. And 44 of those 50 matches that he won were knockouts. And those knockouts was usually within the first round or the second round. Either way, regardless, he used to knock the snot out of people. We just saw a whole video beforehand that showed his highlights of when he was knocking people out, hitting people in the jaw and whatnot. Them jaw punches will put them people to sleep. Let's be real. I don't know what it is, and I can see why it is that people talk about us content creators in kind of like with a disdain, because Jake Paul's not a boxer, he's a content creator. So these influencers, these creators, a lot of times get negative reps and whatnot, because it's just like, all right, well, you took what somebody who's worked a 9 to 5. I know it is that whole 9 to 5 streamer conversation ended up coming up with them recently. But like, oh, you make money off of YouTube. Don't sleep on YouTube now. Don't sleep on YouTube. You can make there's some bread, there's some longevity that you can make within YouTube, yes. But he gets a little carried away with that a lot of the times, and that's where his arrogance come in a lot, and especially with his brother. Both of them get foolish when it comes down to stuff like that. But I want you to be like, now we're just being delulu. We're being delusional. Like you could beat Mike Tyson in any phase of his career? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Prime Iron Mike? Hell no. You wouldn't survive. Not a match. Not one round. Absolutely not.
My guy, if you went into the ring with like a 25 to 35-year-old Mike Tyson, he would have literally flatlined you in 10 seconds. Like, let's say back in the 80s or 90s, this would be like a popular musician or a popular movie star wanting to box Mike. You know how much back then that absolute killer would have loved to just fuck someone like this up? He probably would have done the shit for free. Before the fight, Mike even had his whole ass out.
What's your prediction?
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
I'm about to say, please don't show this
And
man's
this was
ass.
actually a really big foreshadowing, because from here on out, the rest of the stream would just be absolute ass. I mean, Netflix claims that they prepared for all the traffic coming to their platform.
No, you didn't. Netflix? No. This is why HBO or Showtime, one of y'all two need to go back into streaming boxing matches, bro. And Netflix acted like it is. This was the first time it is that they did this. I'm gonna need you moving forward to act like it is that you've done this before. All these damn technical issues. The fact that like the main event came about, everything was all grainy. Like, don't do it again. Don't stream this again until it is you got your whole entire thing set up correctly at this point. And I added this motherfucker on my phone plan for nothing. See, this is why it is I was gonna give Netflix my money, goddammit. Not at all.
It's going to be Netflix's biggest live sports event to date, but the streamer tells us everyone from IT to production has put their all into preparation and will be ready to combat any and all technical issues that may arise.
How many people in the chat actually believe that? How many people in the chat actually believe that statement right there? They put in their all into the preparations and was ready for this. Unknown. Unknown. Let's be real. Let's be real. Was Netflix the only streaming platform for this fight? No. Back in the 80s and 90s, HBO and Showtime was the platforms that used to stream boxing matches. It was them too. Now Showtime and HBO is more for like TV shows, dramas and stuff like that. Well, realistically speaking, HBO used to have a little bit of risque stuff on there, but now I'm showing age when it is, and I say that, you know what I mean? I'm showing a lot of age with some stuff with HBO and Showtime, because they used to have some risque, raunchy, adult shows stuff on there. You know what I mean? But then again, like I said, like, you know, that I wish it was back on HBO. Exactly.
Well, basically, like 500 million people are watching this fight at once. Or I guess I should say they were trying to watch it because they were just staring at a buffering screen. I was actually down in the lobby of this hotel last night trying to watch the fight with like a little crowd of people. And this motherfucker was back there trying to load up Stream East on the side, okay? He had a laptop. I mean, this is how sad it got, guys. At one time, Antonio Brown was streaming the video on Twitter, and you had 6.6 million concurrent viewers watching. Keep in mind, this is a view from the actual stadium. You know, there at AT&T, they got the big old Jumbotron, so someone just set up a phone there, and he collected all those Twitter shekels. I mean, the fact that one man's phone could handle a 6.6 million viewer live stream, but Netflix was apparently totally unprepared for this traffic. It's just hilarious. This is not the first time this has happened for Netflix when they've tried to put on a live event. People anticipate they might even buy Netflix just to view this one event, and then the shit doesn't even work. When it comes to actual boxing, it was a snooze fest. Mike's legs got wobbly around the third round. I think he was pretty gassed. And at the end, it really just seemed like Jake, just out of pure respect, was not going to knock this man out. He was kind of just giving him jabs, kind of securing the win. I think Mike only threw like 85 punches total or something like that, and very few of them connected, this being one of them. And I'm not really seeing that much power behind that punch at all. As you guys can see, Jake remained relatively unfazed. I wish so bad that someone would just sleep this guy. He keeps calling out Canelo. Listen, Canelo, I know you're like a charity man. I know you like to do things for the local community. I mean, you could put some serious philanthropy on your...
Ooh, you're calling out Canelo? That's kind of laughable. That's kind of laughable. What? Nah, if you get Canelo to get out of his family man stage or what? What, man, Jake, take this win and just shut up. Move forward with your life, gang. There's no need for you to do any more at this point. There's all the shit talking, all that. Keep it to a minimum. Okay? The fact that you can even say it is that you beat Mike Tyson in a fight is already, I already don't fuck with it as it is. But it happened. Take that. Take the money, take the win, and just go. Because you about to get into some dangerous territories on trying to, no, don't do that, please.
Resume by knocking this motherfucker out. And this is how you know this shit was so fake. At the end of the fight, you know, Jake was bowing down to him for about 10 seconds there. And I wish that Mike would have just taken this moment right here and just teed off on his head, like when you're in T-ball and the ball's just sitting there. All you gotta do is swing. And you know, Mike looks like he kind of thought about it.
Oh, wow.
Tyson!
But instead he sticks out the hand. Okay, we're looking at a new era of Mike Tyson. And sadly, you know, when it comes to his physique, I thought that Mike looked pretty good.
What's up, Jester?
It did appear that he was training really hard for this fight for close to over a year. But sadly, guys, Father Time ends up coming for absolutely everyone. This man is almost 60 years old at this point, and he really just could not last. His best chance was just to go like all out for the first probably 2 or 3 rounds and just totally gas himself out and maybe try and get the knockout. But it really just wasn't happening, and it was pretty apparent very early on in the fight. Here, Jake Paul praises Mike. He says he's the GOAT.
First and foremost, Mike Tyson. It's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike, bro. He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it. Obviously the toughest, baddest man on the planet, so it was really tough, like I expected it to be.
So there, Jake's just showing some respect. After the fight, you obviously got Logan standing around in the background trying to get his airtime. You know he always tries to make these situations about himself. And when Mike tells him, hey, I want to fight you too, Logan, this is what Logan says.
Logan, I think he said you might be next. Motherfucker, I'll kill you, Mike.
Now, I won't lie, I think even like a 60-year-old Mike Tyson might beat up on Logan Paul. Not that I want to reopen Pandora's box here, guys, but this guy couldn't even knock out Dylan Dennis when he wasn't even moving. You know, when it comes to Jake, at least he has all those knockouts on his resume. It might not be the most impressive fighters. But for Logan, it's like, bro, you never even won a boxing match, okay? You lunchly, you know, businessman. Whooped your ass multiple times. After the fight, Tank Davis would post this on Instagram where he says, to the bozo that shared the ring with Mike, you a whole bozo for this, and you didn't get the job done, shithead. Here, Jake would confirm to a reporter that he was apparently taking it easy on Mike once he saw those legs get a little bit wobbly.
At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
I mean, yeah, honestly, last night, if he would have just, like, brutally knocked out Mike Tyson, I mean, he might have gone down in history as the biggest douche of all time, and he's already, you know, in the running for that, but...
Did you feel Mike's power at all?
No.
He hit you with one, and you gave him the tongue.
But it didn't actually hurt. No one's punches have, like, really hurt. I got buzzed a little bit against Tommy Fury, but that's about it.
This was early in the fight. People were saying, oh, Mike still got it in him.
Landing his jab right there that really knocked Jake back.
I don't know how Jake claims that this punch cannot have affected him. That's that power we wanted to see. Ooh.
Right.
Other people were saying, yo, this fight had to be rigged. This is nothing like what Mike looked during his sparring sessions, during his training footage. I mean, obviously, there's a big difference between going through practice and going into the actual game. I'm sure other people...
I need people to understand this, that Mike almost damn near died in June, gang. 8 transfusions. He lost like 25 pounds. So that's... take it from me. I tend to lose weight when it is. There's something health related with me often. And it's usually 15 to 20 pounds. That's usually the number. That's not easy to recover from. That's not, and then he was having issues with his knee as well. And those are not easy things to recover from. So I will give Mike that grace for even just less than 6 months after the whole medical emergency incident to get back and still do this. I gotta give him his props, you know, and especially being close to like damn near 60. I'll give him his props. I'm not mad at that whatsoever.
People out there who have played sports, not even boxing, but really like anything else, have known guys who were cold as fuck in practice, but when it came down to the game, they were cheeks. And then after the fight, they apparently asked him if Canelo would be his next fight, and Jake says, I don't need Canelo, he needs me. And I do think that Jake will continue to fight undersized guys who are like way out of their prime or just from a whole different sport. Like, look at the opponents he's had. He beat retired NBA player Nate Robinson 40. Okay, that's his first fight, you know. People just wanted to see what he could do. They were impressed with the knockout. Beat retired MMA fighter Ben Askren, he was 40. Obviously, that guy was known for being an elite grappler, was never known for his boxing. Beat retired MMA fighter Tyron Woodley, 42. Now, Tyron was known for striking in his UFC career, but obviously, like, the striking in UFC, does it always translate well to boxing? Probably not. Then he goes in there and beats Anderson Silva, who was already 49 years old. People thought that was crazy. They thought that was, like, way too past his prime to fight. And then he obviously loses to the only boxer who was even close to his age, Tommy Fury, and also the only person who was really, like, a professional boxer. Beat semi-retired MMA fighter Nate Diaz at 39. I mean, everyone always says, oh, Nate's had this, like, iron chin. But even that fight was pretty garbage. And then he beat up on Mike Tyson last night.
This is what it is I'm saying. I don't consider Jake Paul to be a fighter. What's up, Amethyst? How are you? I just don't consider him to be a fighter. Like, if you gotta go ahead and fight retired people that aren't absolutely like boxing, MMA, UFC, they're not the same. They have different rules, different regulations. You gotta train differently for it. They're not all the same. So even with that, I feel like he's winning because of loopholes, and a lot of it is because of the fact that it's like these aren't real fighters. They're not real boxers. Okay, go against somebody that's an actual boxer that is in the same weight class as you. I promise you that you won't even win like that. And especially somebody in their prime, especially somebody that has a heart or has an iron punch. I don't think it is that he's gonna win that. But we'll see if it is moving forward, if he actually going to accept some levels of fights that are weight appropriate for Jake moving forward. But his brother, on the other hand, quit doing this, bro.
58 years old. You know, guys, I really thought that Mike could maybe turn back the clock for this one. I thought that he would look a little bit better than he did, but he did end up looking like an old man out there, and it was very sad to see. Like, I don't know, it felt like elderly abuse or something. It was just sad. And at the end of the day, you do have to give some credit to Jake. I mean, the guy is an expert at marketing. He's an expert at making money and putting on these events. I think he made like I don't know, 50-60 million dollars last night, which is just fucking insane. But yeah, I hope someone puts an end to his little social experiment that he's been doing for the last couple of years soon. But I don't know if he'll ever put himself in that sort of compromising position, because without boxing, and once he, you know, actually gets knocked out by somebody, I don't know how much he really has left in the tank. Like, I don't really see this guy going back to being an influencer or anything like that, going back to Disney. I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts down below. I do want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. I am sorry if the quality was not exactly up to par. Like I told you guys, I'm in this hotel room.
Hey,
the
listen,
acoustics
quality's
are ass.
way better than
Recording
Netflix,
this on a laptop. But it is what it is, guys. I'll catch y'all next week. I got a fire video coming, so y'all look forward to that. But as you guys know, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and some other fake boxing out here needs to be covered. So I'm out.
Listen, the quality is way better than what it is Netflix got going on, because they, you know, I cannot count that as a win. Even with Mike like losing, he still won at the end of the day. So I'm not mad at it. But Jamari, shout outs to you. Thank you so much for the video. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. Shout outs to you at home. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.